Yo, what's good YouTube? OT here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys another tip video. For this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I like to hit against Aroldis Chapman. This video was requested by a commenter, XConnor. I'm also just going to more broadly talk about how I hit lefties in general, specifically lefty relievers. I'm going to hop into practice mode for you. I'm going to turn my sliders all the way up, and I just have a saved roster with most of the hitters that I'm using now and most of the pitchers that you face now. So when I'm in custom practice trying to get reps against a pitcher, I like to put replay play on and put the count to 2-2. That way I'm probably going to see a mixture of pitches. And we got Bryce Harper against Aroldis Chapman. The first thing you have to remember about Chapman is that he's extremely wild. Most people cannot dot up with Chapman consistently, so that means there's a good chance that you're going to get at least one hanger or fastball over the heart of the plate per at bat, if not more than that. So when I'm facing Chapman, the first thing I try to do is make sure that I don't get distracted by his motion. So he has a very deceptive motion. He hides the ball very well, but you kind of just want to ignore that and focus on his release point. When it comes to lefty-lefty specifically, well, in custom practice it's going to be different, but online, lefty-lefty, you're really only going to see two pitches for the most part: fastball and slider. You're not going to see the changeup very much. You may see a sinker or two-seam occasionally, but it's mostly going to be four-seam, slider, and we were just behind that fastball. But since you're only seeing two pitches, that can really help you narrow down what you're looking for. So my recommendation is before two strikes, you pick one to sit on. Sit on the four seam, sit on the slider, either one. I'm just gonna sit slider for a couple pitches. Okay, we got a fastball down the middle. I was sitting slider, but fastball down the middle, that's an easy one to hit. But early in the count, if you're just waiting for that hanging slider, there's a good chance you'll get it. Now, obviously you have to pick up on your opponent's tendencies. Are they someone that likes to throw a lot of off speed? Do they like to throw a lot of fastballs? What's their pitching style? There, I got the slider. I was ready for it. I was just too late. But if you're late in off speed, it normally means you got a good read on it. You just couldn't pull the trigger in time. You can almost kind of wall off the zone too. Anything you see up in here is likely a fastball. Anything down low, likely a slider. See there, we got the slider. I was able to wait back on it. A lot of times that pitch will fool people though. I missed it with the PCI, but my timing was there. But a lot of times that pitch will fool people. You'll get them out in front because they see it and they think it's a fastball. That's why you can't get caught in between. You have to be sitting on one or the other. See there, we waited perfectly for that slider, smoked it up the middle. I know Chapman seems scary, especially lefty-lefty, but when you try to narrow it down to only two pitches and then you pick one to look for with less than two strikes, it makes the at-bat a lot easier. If you're only just looking for sliders or you're only just looking for fastballs, chances are if you get that pitch, you're going to put a decent swing on it. And that same basic fastball slider thing would hold true for pretty much every lefty reliever in the game. Billy Wagner, lefty-lefty, you're mostly going to be seeing fastball slider. Jake McGee, it's going to be fastball slider for the most part, lefty-lefty. Same thing with pretty much every lefty, whether it's the new Tops Now guy, I can't remember his name, Jose Alvarado, even Tyler Alexander. Lefty-lefty, you're mostly going to be seeing fastball slider, so just pick one and sit on it. Where things can get a little more tricky with that lefty-lefty method are when you're facing guys with cutters, because the cutter has a slider type break, but it looks like a fastball, so that's a really good pitch to get you out when you're sitting fastball. But most relievers aren't throwing cutters, lefty relievers at least. Most of them are just fastball, slider, maybe a changeup, a curveball, but not really too many guys with cutters that you have to worry about. Now with right-handed batters against Chapman, really their full arsenal is going to be available. You'll start seeing a lot more changeups. You'll see a ton of sinkers, a ton of two seams. They'll try to throw them like out here away for the most part, try to get you to roll over. You'll see some four seams inside as well, and then they'll run a lot of sliders down and in. But again, what you have to keep in mind about Chapman is he's extremely wild. We get a bit of a hanging change up there, but Chapman is extremely wild, so he's gonna throw you some pitches over the middle for sure. He's gonna throw a lot of balls. Any dots thrown by Chapman are pretty lucky, and you can't expect for your opponent to dot consistently with them. I know it's scary getting behind in the count against Chapman, but I mean, it's a lot better than swinging at bad pitches and just getting yourself out. Again, try to avoid his kind of funky windup. Don't even pay attention to it. Just focus on the release point. Wait for the ball to come from that spot, which is probably right about here. Just focus on that. Then when the ball comes out, look for something over the middle. All right, so that pretty much covers how I hit Chapman, and those tips can basically be transferred over to almost any lefty reliever in general, especially the lefty-lefty tips. To reiterate, lefty-lefty, you're either getting a fastball or a slider almost 90% of the time, most likely. So pick one of those and sit on it before 2 strikes. Righty-lefty against Chapman, he's really wild. Wait for him to make a mistake over the middle. Be patient. Don't get nervous because he has gas and his windup's funky. Just focus on the release point and be patient and wait for him to hang you something. If this video was informative or helpful for you guys in any way, make sure to hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for more videos like this in the future, and I'll see everybody next time. Peace.